Hi, this is Mel from Mesa, Arizona. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about uh, mango trees. Some people don't know that you can grow mangoes in Arizona, but they grow great in Arizona. Uh, there's mango trees of all different kinds all over Maricopa County, Arizona. Um, and you can actually grow them from seed, and they grow pretty fast. Um, Here I show you the shell here. I've opened up the shell and taken the seed out of the inside. They do have like a little brown husk on them that you want to try to get off as much of that. This one doesn't want to come off very easily, but that can cause it to mold if you leave that husk on it. And this is a monoembryonic seed. It's kind of hard to see the difference, so I have this kind of picture here that shows a monoembryonic seed just has one solid seed. But if you have a polyembryonic seed, they have several sections on there, and each one of those sections can grow a separate tree. Now, this tree here, uh, all these trees came from the same seed, and I was able to separate them, and they're all growing. This is what it first looks like when it first starts to grow. That's the seed. The seed starts to sprout out here, and it's shooting a root down towards the bottom. But all three of these trees came from one polyembryonic seed, so it's kind of neat that you can get more than one tree. And on a polyembryonic seed, uh, one of the trees, it won't be true to the parent tree, but the other ones will be. Now, I'm not sure which one of these three is not going to be true to the mother parent plant, but the other two will be. And the monoembryonic seeds, they won't be exactly like the parent plant, just like a child isn't going to be the same as their parent. They'll be a little bit different. If you plant a tree from seed like this, take a seed and plant it, it usually takes about 5 to 8 years before it can fruit. Um, on any mango trees, it's not best to let it fruit uh, any sooner than 4 years, because if you let it fruit any sooner than 4 years, then is what happens, that fruit will take a lot of strength away from the tree, and it can stress the tree, and because all the sugars is going to produce that fruit, and it's stressing the rest of the tree, and so they can actually stunt the growth of the tree, or it can even kill a tree if you let them fruit too soon. So I usually do it 4 years before I let it fruit. Now these here, if you graft these, you can cut them off and graft them with a producing mango tree. And when you graft it with a producing mango tree, it can fruit in another 2 or 3 years, and so you can cut the time down and how long it's going to take to fruit. Uh, there's all different colors of mango. Like you got the yellow one. This is a Manila mango. This is a Kent mango. And then this is just a green mango. Some mangoes you pick green. These are the different colors they can be red, orange. All of them can be different colors when you first pick them. Now, to open this husk, when you open the husk up like this to get the seed out, you have to be real careful. A lot of people use a knife or scissors to try and cut it. I found that the best thing to do is to grab hold of a part of it like this and then just peel it back with needle nose pliers, because if you damage the seed inside by trying to cut it with a knife or something, then it's not going to grow and you're going to ruin the seed. But like this here, this is Antonio mango. It's doing really good and growing tall. I got two Kent mangoes here. I'm not really sure what these from the polyembryonic seeds are, because I got them from a friend. When you're going to plant these in the ground, you want to make sure that the pH of your soil is somewhere between 5.5 and 7.5. Now check the variety that you have, because some varieties want a little bit more acidic, and some varieties can take a little bit more alkaline. And our soil around here in Maricopa County is 7.5 to 8.5, and so you can use gypsum to put on the soil, and gypsum will soften the soil. Gypsum also has sulfur in it, so it will drop the pH of the soil. And gypsum also gets rid of what they call zoospores in the water that can cause root rot, which is really good. And to check your pH, they have different kinds of meters. This is a digital meter, and this is an analog meter. Some of them have two prongs on them, and but you want to put that prong in the ground at least 6 inches deep, so you can get a true reading, and leave it there for about a minute so that you can get a true reading of what the pH of the soil is when you're testing your soils. I have one area of my garden that I keep lower pH, more acidic pH, so that they'll grow. Now this is a Antonio mango that I put in the ground on July 29th. I just stuck the seed directly in the ground to see how it would do, and it's so far doing really good. It's not growing quite as fast as some of the ones in the pots, but it looks a lot healthier and everything with real green leaves, and it's doing real good. I did buy about 4.5 years ago. I bought this mango tree, and if you look, it's about 9 inches tall, 9 feet tall. I mean, 9 feet tall now. Going from the base up to the top. The trunk's about 1.5 inches in diameter now. I still have it braced so that when we get our monsoons and stuff like that, it doesn't knock it over. But you've seen I put it on the east side of the house, and so it is growing into the sun. That's kind of what you want to do with mangoes and also like avocados and a lot of your tropical trees. So you can put them on the east side of the house where they can grow into the sun. Then by the time they get up there and grow into the sun, they can take our hotter temperatures in the summertime when they've been more established. So this will be the first year I'm going to let this one grow. Now mango, I bought this one at a big box store, and it was growing up and was like 6 foot tall, but only didn't have any branches. So I had gone through several videos, and it said you have to cut them off, and you can see right there where I cut it off. And when I cut it off, it actually grew six branches out here, and I took 2 of them off and just let 4 of them stay. So one's going south, north, east, and west, like that. And that's what makes them branch out. So if yours aren't branching out, you usually cut them off. The videos I've watched and everything says to cut them off about a waist high. It was hard to cut this one off. It was 6 feet tall, and I didn't want to cut it off, but I did, and it branched out, and it's been looking great. Then after it went up a ways, then I cut it off again here, and I let 2 branches on each one of the 4 branches that were left grow up and split off. And you can see how each one of them is split off and made more branches. And so now it's tall enough to where I'm going to grab these clippers here. And I've cleaned these clippers off. A lot of people use alcohol. I use hydrogen peroxide to spray on them and then wipe them off to make sure there's no bacteria or germs on them. But is where you want to clip them off is you take where there's a group of leaves, and where you have a group of leaves, I'll clump there. You want to cut off, and you want to cut it off at a slight angle, like that. And now where those leaves are, it'll shoot out more branches, and it'll become more of a fuller tree and everything like that, because we've cut it off where that's at, and it's going to grow more trees. And now I can take this one here and peel the leaves off and try to root it back, but I may try to do that. It's called just doing a cutting and making the cutting. You do have to scrape it off, because if you look at the bottom of this, there's the woody part inside. Let's see if I can get down here so I can focus it. The woody part inside, and then you have the bark on the outside, but the cambium layer is the lighter green inside. That cambium layer is what can grow roots. And so you'd have to use a rooting hormone on there to try to get it to root off. I use some different rooting hormones. They have powdered rooting hormones, liquid rooting hormones, gelled hormones. I actually use aloe vera, which is kind of like a gel, and I cut a piece of aloe vera and rub it all over there and stick it in the ground to get it to root out. You can use things like cinnamon, you can use bananas, although those are rooting agents. Even honey is a rooting agent. Some people don't have room for a lot of trees. You can grow them in pots like this, but when they get a little bit bigger, if you're going to try to grow it in a pot, you'd want to get a pot that's at least like a 20 to 25 gallon, like this bigger one over here, to transplant if you're going to try to grow it at home. And there's full-size mango trees, and there's what they call dwarf mango or condo mangoes. So if you're in a condominium, that's why they call it a condo mango, because you can grow it in a large pot like this, a 20-25 gallon pot, and it'll actually fruit and everything right in that size pot on your dwarf ones. So hopefully I gave you some basics on mangoes and that, and hopefully you can grow your own mangoes and be eating your own mangoes off your own trees. And if you have any questions or comments, please put the comments in and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Also, I would like it if you could subscribe to this page, and then when I put more posts of other kinds of trees, like I'm I've done them on avocados. I'm going to do it again on the Java de Cava, on the Indian cluster fig. You can check out my page, Mel Palmer, and check out all the different types of fruit in it. And so if you subscribe and hit the bell will notify you whenever I do a new video. So thank you for joining in today, and have a great day.